Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. My name is Milad and I'm one of the counselors at Sydney Queer Muslims. This morning's video, it's about challenging our negative thinking and negative thoughts. I'm sure, most of us know what negative thinking is and what positive thinking is. But let's actually talk about it this morning in this brief video. Let's define it, talk about it, and find ways of managing it. Now, what's actually negative thinking? When we say negative thoughts, what actually are we talking about here? Negative thinking simply is us seeing the negativity and the bad in everything. Negative thoughts we think about in a negative way. Out there, when we go out there, we see the world in a negative way, not in a positive way. It's as if there's always a black cloud hanging over us. In a nutshell, this is what negative thinking is and negative thoughts are. The opposite would be positive thinking. When even the worst obstacle we see it as a positive. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a mountain to climb this morning. It's a mountain. It's cold. The first thing, and this is how the brain is wired. Guess what? Oh no, it's a huge mountain. How am I gonna do it? That doubt gets put into your mind. How am I gonna do it? If you turn this around and think of it in a positive manner, you know what? You're gonna say, amazing. Imagine how fantastic I'm going to feel when I do climb the mountain. Imagine the exercise I'm gonna get when I do climb the mountain. And imagine the accomplishment. I'm gonna be on cloud 9. And you know what? I don't have to run up the mountain. I can do it step by step. That's the positive thinking. Whereas most of us, and unfortunately it's not our fault, guess what? Straight away, it's too difficult, it's too hard, that negativity comes in. So let's delve deeper into that. A lot of us spend a lot of time inside our mind, and we do. You know what? I'll give you an example. I'm on my way to work on the train. I'm sitting on the train, but guess what? I'm in my own mind. There's people around me, but I'm not looking at anyone. What I'm absorbed in is my own thoughts. What do I have to do today? How many tasks do I have? Who do I have to call? All of that. And guess what? That becomes negative for me. I'll tell you why. Because it overwhelms me. So what do I do then? Those negative thinking, you know what I do? I turn them into positives. How do I do that? I turn them into positives because I think, you know what? It's going to be productive for me. Imagine how much I'm going to learn today. Imagine how good I will feel when I accomplish that task that I've been putting on for so many days or even months. Now, how do we challenge negative thinking? Or even, you know what, how do we manage it? How do we ensure that negative thinking and thoughts do not paralyze us? I'm not sure if any of you can relate, but sometimes, you know, you get up in the morning and there's so much that you need to do, but for some reason you feel weighed down. You feel like there's a heavy burden on you. You think even the morning prayer, subhanAllah, it feels like it's a chore. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at what's going on within you. We call it black and white thinking. It's either black or white. There's no in between. There's no grey area. And this is what's going on. It's that black and white thinking. Well, guess what, guys? There's more to it than that. Again, throughout the day, throughout the morning, throughout the evening, when you find yourselves just thinking in one way only, pause and reflect. Assess the situation. Why are we thinking about this situation in a negative manner for? What's behind it? Is it that we believe we can't do it? Because guess what, guys? We can do it. Obviously, you may need help. You need other people's assistance, maybe. You need maybe to do further research. But at the end of the day, you're equipped. You're skilled. there is assistance for you. So that black and white thinking, you can actually change that step by step by just reflecting and thinking about the situation itself. Personalizing things. Sometimes negative thoughts, guess what? I think, oh no, I've stuffed up. It's my fault. I was wrong. There you go. The more we think of it that way, the more we personalize it, the more negatively we're going to think. You know what? If we make a mistake, if we don't do something right, that's fine, we're human. No one is perfect. We own up to it, we rectify it. That's what we call personalizing. Sometimes what we do is we really are so self-critical that if we stuff up, it takes us days sometimes, maybe even weeks, before we get over it. But without personalizing it, assess what's happened, look at it and think to yourself, you know what, yes, this has happened, I'm going to learn from it, I'm going to move forward, I'm going to rectify it. Filter thinking. I don't know if anyone's thought about or heard the terms filter thinking. Filter thinking is when you think of a situation in a negative manner only. For example, you've got an aunt you don't like. Okay? She's nasty to you, or she doesn't accept you because of your sexuality or because of any other reasons. The only thought associated with the aunt is a negative one. That's filter thinking. What I would just suggest for you is, okay, she's not good to you, she's nasty to you. Is there another way we can think about this aunt? Are there any positives or any good attributes about her? Can we be the better person? Can we say, you know what, I forgive you. God bless you, I forgive you. What I'm trying to do with you guys is the negative thinking, we don't want it. It's there, it's part of human life, it's nature. But guess what? It's about acknowledging it, parking it, saying, you know what, no. I don't want you, I don't want you. I don't want you here in my life or within me. I'm going to acknowledge you're there, but I'm going to park it. Challenge your thoughts. Challenge the negative thoughts, especially the distorted ones. Negative thoughts, most of the time, there's no reality basis to them. Please pause whenever you're thinking in a negative manner. Pause and think to yourself, okay, my thoughts, how realistic are they? Are they realistic? Is the sky honestly gonna all of a sudden turn black and it's in the middle of the day? Are the stars gonna fall from heaven? Assess without, because if we don't assess and we go along with the negative thoughts, we become overwhelmed. And guess what? When we are so deep into the negative thoughts, it takes us longer to come back out. Release judgment. I know, I do it. We all judge ourselves. We all kick ourselves sometimes. But guys, you know what? There's enough judgment out there. Let's try, instead of judging ourselves, let's learn. We've done something we may not be proud of. We've done something that we could have done better next time. Instead of actually saying, oh, you know, how bad we are or how silly we are, it's not about that. We're on a journey in life. It's a learning experience. No one knows everything. Not even the president knows everything. Not even the Pope knows everything. Okay? So instead of judging ourselves, let's look at what we've learned from the situation and let's see how we can do it differently next time. Practice gratitude. When we tend to think in a negative manner, guess what? Everything becomes negative. We forget about the positives. We forget that, alhamdulillah, some of us or most of us are healthy, in good health. We forget, alhamdulillah, that we have a roof over our head, that we have a job, that we have our sanity, that we have clean water, that we have food. You see it on TV sometimes. You've got orphans, 5-year-olds, no mother, no father. Sometimes we forget how blessed we are. Yes, we have our issues, I know. We have our pain, we have our sufferings, we have our demons. Of course we do. But guess what? It could be worse. So let's pause for a minute. And if we're thinking in a negative manner, let's pause, happy birthday, please, and let's just say, you know what? I'm actually okay. There are other positives going on in my life at the moment. Get a journal. Buy a journal. Write down the good things that you're grateful about. Write it down. Write down that you can walk. You're not in a God forbid in a wheelchair, or you're not blinded. Not to say that people in a wheelchair or blind, they can't function. Of course they can. Of course they can. But what I'm trying to show you is, when we think in a negative manner, that there is also a lot of positives we need to be grateful about, but we forget. Because guess what? We're too busy thinking in a negative way. Focus on your strength. What's good about you? Why do people like to be with you? Why does your partner love you? Why do your friends call you up and want to be with you? Because you've got beautiful traits, attributes. Because you draw people to yourself. Why do you hold down a job? Guess what? Because you have certain skills that your employer needs. Again, focus on your strength, because when we think negatively, maybe our partners upset us, or maybe our parents have told us we're no good because we're gay or we're a lesbian, or for whatever reason. Hold on a sec, but that's not all of us. That's a small part of us. Our sexuality, and that's our issue, by the way. Our sexuality is a small part of us. Our maybe insecurities, they're a small part of us. There are other amazing beneficial parts to us that we need to look at and appreciate and even celebrate. So I urge you to please invest in a journal and write down and document what are the exceptional attributes you all have. And I'm sure you can think of 5 in less than a minute. And last but not least, it's easy for me to sit down here and talk at you. It's hard, I know. Life is not easy. And again, this is why I would urge you to reach out to Sydney Queer Muslims should you need any counselling or professional support. We are your extended family here. You're not alone. We're all in this together on our journey. And before I wrap up, I'd just like to remind you, negative thoughts, it depends how much we want to invest in them. The minute you feel yourself going to the black world of negative thinking and forgetting about the other positive, pause. Just pause and reflect. What is it that's got you to think in this way? What's happened? How realistic is it? And you will find most of the time that you can switch from thinking in a negative manner to a positive manner. Thank you for your time. Assalamu alaikum.